So I'm wondering, you mentioned a lot of teachers are highly sensitive themselves, and I hear from a lot of teachers, and I've seen a lot of HSPs leave education because of the level of overstimulation of being in a
Yep.
classroom and managing multiple children and their needs and emotions at once. So sadly, just like with therapists, we see a lot of HSPs exiting those professions. So I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on how teachers can stay in education, or how highly sensitive teachers can stay in the field and manage the difficulties of being overwhelmed in the classroom.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, April. There is a high attrition rate for highly sensitive people out of teaching,
Yes.
because it can be so overwhelming. And it's not just the physical environment, too. When you have so much responsibility in the lives of so many children, that can weigh heavily too. So some of the things that are really, really important for highly sensitive teachers is to first of all, I guess, acknowledge what it is that you bring to the classroom. So, your empathy, your compassion, your creativity, your imagination, these are the things that learners need to thrive. So, you're bringing in a rich wealthness to the
Mm.
classroom. So, stand tall in that. And then we need to look at ways to manage so that the overstimulation and the overwhelm doesn't set in. And setting boundaries is really important. Highly sensitive teachers often will just overwork and overthink and over prepare and. We need to learn how to say, okay, this is what needs to be done. I've done that. I'm going to put that aside and go on to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not not going to keep going over it. All right. So keeping those boundaries really, really firm. And then within those firm boundaries, ensuring that you're taking absolutely all the time that you need to replenish yourself in as many ways as possible, right?
Hmm.
Through whatever it is that you need. Often for highly sensitive people, it's time in nature. Make that time in the lunch break or the recess break. Go outside.
Yes.
Look at the sky. Take some breaths. Just sort of calm things down. So these are the things that we can do for ourselves in the classroom. The things that are good for the highly sensitive children are good for the highly sensitive teachers too.
True.
Right, get rid of those overhead fluorescent lights if you can, or turn them off for a bit anyway. Um, keep things quiet, keep things calm, allow time to process information, quiet times. Be really mindful of keeping things quiet and peaceful in the classroom.
Mm.
And another thing too, I think that's really important is seek supervision or therapy if you need to talk through things, because in my experience, highly sensitive teachers often carry a lot of weight around the issues that they see going on in the lives of the children they're teaching, and they need time to sort of process that and to park it so that they're not carrying that. And I personally believe that's one of the reasons why so many of our highly sensitive teachers leave the profession. It's just too hard, too too sad.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes so much sense. Same with therapists. I keep bringing in
Mm,
those parallels because it sounds the same. You're holding all this care for these sweet children, and there's a lot of them. And sometimes it becomes overwhelming, that responsibility, especially
mm,
if there's no outlets. You
yeah,
need somewhere to take that and feel supported with someone who understands. Maybe it's a mentor or it is a therapist who knows a lot about the education system, someone who can support you and help you hold what you're holding.
yeah.
And absolutely create some limits because yes, you could probably work on something for hours and hours and hours, whether it's lesson planning or setting up the classroom, following up with parents, but there has to be a limit there. where you then come
Yeah.
back home to yourself and be a human, not a teacher.
Yep.
Yeah. And those
Yeah.
things
And
are
many,
available.
yeah. And many highly sensitive teachers are then going home and being parents as well. So it's,
Right.
there's a lot of balls in the air, really, or there can be a lot
Yes.
of balls in the air. But
Absolutely.
the boundaries are really important.
Mm-hmm. Most essential for any HSP, really.
Absolutely.
Yes. But a good reminder that if you are a teacher, it's okay to set boundaries because a lot of
Yep.
times I think when we're in caring or supportive professions that we should be completely available at all times. That it's
Absolutely.
selfish to say no. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And that's why education about the trait is so important
Mm-hmm.
because if you've not known about it, you can go through life with so many messages about, I've got to do this, and why is it that it takes me longer to recover? Why do I need it? Everyone else can keep going,
Right. Exactly.
and we can get these messages from so many different sources. First of all, it can come from parents and siblings, and then it can come from
Yeah.
other family members, it can come from teachers,
Mhm.
peers, and later on in life, partners, you
Absolutely.
know,
Everywhere you're getting the
everywhere.
message that you should be maybe doing more, stretching yourself. But if you know that you're highly sensitive, then you realize,
Mm.
oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I just have a different set of needs. And that's
Yeah,
okay. But I also look at all the strengths I bring to the table.
yep,
Yes. And holding that in contrast.